a campaign that was started just before Christmas, with the run-up to Christmas. County Tipperary County Council obviously wanted to encourage people to buy and keep the money in the economy over the Christmas period, which is such a huge time of the year that people really spend a lot of their budgets. So the Cmon Tipp Buy Local campaign, it's an initiative of the Tipperary County Council to promote greater understanding of the vital role that local retailers plays in the economic and community development of the towns and villages in County Tipperary. So that's the retailers, the local retailers here today. The campaign is a call to action to consumers to buy local and aims to foster and to deepen the connection and the cooperation between the retailers and the Tipperary County Council in pursuit of that objective. So even though you're all retailers, you're also all consumers, and you're all local people in the Tipperary area. So you have a double job to do. Now I'm going to go through some statistics, and it's kind of a long-winded title to it, but it's a very important research that was published there, I think just in January or that. And it was published by the Marketing Institute of Ireland and the UCD Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School, so automatically straight away it's serious. And it's some figures, and Conor, we have the same figure here, so it must be right, that Irish customers spent about 5 billion online last year. And about 2/3 of that, 3 million, went to retailers outside of the country, which, as I say, I know Conor mentioned as well. So just think about that. 3 billion euros was lost to the Irish economy because other people had an online presence. And I know in the world of digital, we all love a bargain, and everything might be about price, and especially at Christmas and all those busy times of the year when you're under pressure for budgets, people might go online and try to get the best bargain. Now, it isn't always the best bargain. And in the same research, it showed that 40 billion was spent in the retail industry in Ireland in 2017. So that's a huge amount of money that was spent. And so I just looked at the figures. With 5 billion was sold online, and then 35 billion was left over. So that meant 87.5% was actually spent in bricks and mortar shops in Ireland. So I'm going to take the positive spin on that. It's only good news. So you have a huge percentage of the market, leaving aside, the 3 billion that went outside of the country. And again, there's statistics here. They might look a little bit boring, but again, I think they're very important. This same research showed that 83% of businesses are Irish-owned and run, and 75% of them are family-owned. Just as a matter of interest, have we got a lot of family-owned businesses here today? Hands up. Okay. Quite a high percentage as well. So again, it's very important for you as a family-owned business, that you keep your business, keep it in the family. Maybe you want to hand it down eventually, to sons, daughters, grandchildren, whatever. So it's even more important for you that you have local business and keep your business local in Tipperary. Again, I know Conor and a few others, all the speakers actually spoke about their employees. So 73% of businesses employ 10 employees or less. So it's a small business, but those jobs are very important to the economy. Maybe their jobs wouldn't have existed if you didn't exist. And this is the good news. 70% of the retail jobs are outside of Ireland. So Dublin doesn't just get all the All-Irelands. At least, a lot of the retail jobs are outside of Dublin. So the research proved that Irish retail, it's small, it's local, it's Irish-owned, and it's family-run. So just 2 words there I like is small and local. Sorry, that's 3. Buying from locally owned businesses keeps money circulating closer to where you spend it. Research shows that every 10% spent locally, it generates 24 euros of benefit to the local community. So it just multiplies. 45 cents of every euro spent is reinvested locally, in comparison to only 15 cents when you spend with a larger foreign national. Again, the statistics are important there. I just think it just puts things in perspective how important it is to spend local. Supporting local businesses and independent retailers is vital for the local community. when you spend money with a locally owned business, more money is kept in the community because locally owned businesses purchase from one another and other businesses and tradespeople within the area as well. So that's what I'm saying, you have a double job. You're the consumer and you're also the small businesses in the community. Local businesses, they donate more money to the sporting and charities within their own community. And again, this is very important because, if you're not donating as a small retailer, you're not going to have these, the sporting clubs and things for your children to partake in, especially with Tipp, with their big GA following. That's important that you have that for the community. So what happens when you buy local? You have the multiplier effect. The multiplier effect, now I'm not an economist or anything, and maybe David Williams might be best placed here, but what it is, it's an economic theory that it refers to the increase in final income arising from any new injection of spending. The size of the multiplier depends upon households' margin decisions to spend. So it's the householders that actually have the buying power. And once they spend, you have the injection of cash into the economy. So the multiplier effect, it says, the owners of local businesses are people you know and trust. That's ye again, the retail and small businesses. Ye in turn buy from local businesses and local services within your community. In turn then, you donate back into the community by giving to charities, keeping other facilities alive and going on in the community. And buying local keeps 4 times the money in the local economy compared to shopping at chain stores. So again, it's a circle. It goes around, what comes around goes around, and it's all staying in the community. And that's what buy local is. We want to keep the money local and keep it in the community for the benefit of ye, the business owners, and also the people that live here. So what happens when you buy local? You have numerous retailers and great choices and places to eat, and there's any amount of services as well. As I say, you have numerous of retailers, places to eat, etc. And I'm just wondering, like in all of Tipperary, I'm sure every service that's possible and small business is covered. Just as a matter of interest, I'm just going to go through a few of them here. Have we any hairdressers here today? No. Accountants? No. Flower shops? No. Okay. What else is there? Dry cleaners? Restaurants? No. Cafes? Okay. So what is it? What does everybody do then? Garden centre. Okay, I should have mentioned that. Childminders? No. Okay, so garden centres. What else have we here today? Pharmacies, yeah. A what store? Okay. And what else? Hardware, okay. So what else happens when you buy local? It's just interesting to know where everybody's coming from. When you buy local, you're buying from independent retailers and you're supporting them and you're helping to build the community. And I'm probably mentioning the community more so than any of the other speakers, but it is a huge part of the Buy Local campaign. And when you talk about the community, what is the community? Who is the community? And as Sesame Street said years ago, they're the people that you meet when you're walking down the street. And that is the truth of it. So your community, the retailers that are, surviving every day, and that all multiplies into keeping all these other facilities and businesses going. They're your schools, your colleges. If you don't have local businesses in a town, you don't have people coming into the town. If you don't have people living in a town, you don't have schools, you don't have colleges. So you have a huge part to play in, keeping people in the town, wanting to live here, and also getting extra services into the area, broadband being one of the examples. So what else happens when you buy local? You get a great service. And I know Conor and everybody actually just spoke about customer service and how important it is. And, I suppose people living locally have to understand, and I know Conor said, I think it was one of his commandments, that it is so important, and that's what the customer, it's not always about the price, it's about the service. And the same piece of research I referred to earlier, it says that small businesses excel at being responsive to the desires of their customers. I'm probably contradicting Conor a little bit, but this is what I took out of the research. In fact, the research found that over half of shoppers say small businesses have better customer service than their larger counterparts. And again, I think you can see that if you go to the larger stores, it's very impersonal. As small businesses and retailers, you know your market and you know your customers, and you can deliver a very personal service. I mean, you'd be any marketer's dream. Usually when I ask people who their customers are, you never get the answer the first time. It's usually about the third time. So this research has proven that you actually do know your customers. And from a marketing point of view and selling yourself, that is a huge, huge advantage that you would have over people who are still searching to find who their customers are, and to get to know their customers and to build that trust, that you need to have to keep your customers loyal to you. What else happens when you buy local from independent businesses? You create jobs in your community. And again, that's going back to, even though, most of the people employ under 10 employees, it doesn't matter, they're jobs. They're people with, families, mortgages, bills to pay, children to go to school. So it is vital that the money is spent in the community. This was a post that we put up not so long ago, and we were just blown away by the response we got to it. I know you can read it there, but I'm just going to go read through it anyway. When you buy from a small business, you're not helping a CEO buy a third holiday home. You're helping a little girl get dance lessons, a little boy his team jersey, which is probably a tip jersey, and mums and dads put food on the table. Shop local. Now, to me, that's what shop local is. And I think that one slide just says it all. And by the reaction we got, it was up on Facebook, we got a huge reaction. And from that reaction, I was delighted really, because it really showed that people had interest. They engaged with the post, they gave feedback on it. And it showed that the Tipperary community believed in the idea, they wanted the idea, and they liked the idea. It's not always you get a good reaction to any post, it's difficult. But this particular one definitely meant a lot to people when they kind of saw it on their Facebook. This is another few figures I put together. The population of Tipperary is about 160,000. If each person was to spend just €2 extra per week in a local shop, sorry, I had my €2 here, just €2 extra per week in a local shop, it would mean an additional 16 million to the local economy per year. Now, I did do the figures on it, and I think they're right, but regardless, it's a huge amount. €2 per week in a local shop, and it gives you that injection of investment that I spoke about earlier, is 16 million to the economy in a year. That's a huge amount. So what we're trying to do is, with the Buy Local campaign, it's not always about being the cheapest or getting, cutting prices or anything. It's really about, where does your €2 go? What does it do for your economy? Just to think a little bit different, and maybe, spend that €2 somewhere locally when sometimes you don't even think about it. So you say, well, what can you buy for €2? Well, actually, there's a lot you can buy for €2, and I did a little bit of research myself. Sorry now, and I have my little Red Riding basket here. So just to give an example, for €2, there's loads of products you can buy in the local chemists. They're €2, less under €2, any of those were. Some of them are on sale, but even at sale price, there were €2. Oh yeah, that would be great. These are everyday items, and I'm especially thinking with, Mother's Day coming up, and I know a lot of people talked about presentation and, think differently, how do you present things. So I'm just thinking, little boys and girls coming in to treat their mother, something to Mother's Day. Like for €10, these were all less than €2 each. And as, in the camp, you're talking about pharmacies here, if that little girl with the dance lessons came in and she was buying her little €10, and we all know children hate spending their own money. But just to wrap that with a little bit of special love, a little bow around it, it doesn't look as naked as they are separate on the shelves. So for Mother's Day, there was loads of ideas that I could pick up for €2, but I'm just packaging them to make a €10 Mother's Day gift. If you wanted to go the healthy option for breakfast, you know, if people come into your shop and they don't have their breakfast and they pick up a bar, actually they'd have their breakfast for the week, and a healthy one at that, for less than €2. If you wanted to make it healthy, you could add your nuts, and these were healthy bars as well, less than €2. If you really wanted to treat yourself, and all these are everyday items that customers mightn't think that you can pick up in your local shops. And as the retailers, I suppose you need to draw people, you know, their attention to it. And I know presentation was mentioned a lot, and, you know, to rethink, re-challenge how you do things, how you talk to your customers, how you sell to them. The person getting the bar for the breakfast, you know, maybe one week you take a breakfast theme and, you know, have the little €2 porridge set up with the nuts, and that's their healthy option for the whole week. They have their breakfast instead of the bar, just for the 2 seconds that it would last me anyway. So what we're asking is that people take a look around and see what's on their own doorsteps before they decide to buy elsewhere. So what is the Cmon Tipp Buy Local campaign? It's a campaign to support the local retailers. Buy Local stickers were sent out via different agencies, the Chambers, Tipperary County Council, the Leos, everybody was involved in it. So if you didn't get one, please let us know, and we can certainly organise that you do have some. And what we did is we encouraged the retailers to display them on their shop fronts. So just to show people, again, is to show people that you're involved in it, you want them to come into your shops, you want them to buy from you, and that, you know, as a small business, you have something to offer them as well. So what we did is we set up a Facebook page. And, we set up a Facebook page, and we also set up a Twitter page. And just some, I think it was Conor spoke about social media earlier on, and I have to say, you know, social media is a great option, and it's cheap and it's free. And again, the website as well. But just some interesting figures about social media and Facebook. There's 2.5 million Facebook users in Ireland. 1.8 million people use Facebook every day. So, I mean, you have a huge opportunity to reach people. You know, you can narrow that down, obviously, to your whole area. With Twitter, what was it, 700,000, I think, people use Twitter every day. And there's 1 million tweets a day. 1 million tweets. So, and 92% of Irish journalists use Twitter every day as well. So again, it's, as Conor said earlier on, it's getting your brand out there, letting people know you're in business. The hashtag we used was Cmon Tipp Buy Local. I think it was a great hashtag myself. I didn't come up with it, but it's one that we're using for the campaign. So with Facebook and Twitter, we used it to engage with the community. We asked people to like, share, tweet and retweet any of the posts that we put up. And we invited local retailers to come on board and share their posts and stories about their own businesses as well. And then obviously we were going to share that out across our social media platforms. The benefits for you as the retailers, there's no costs. You have the opportunity to tell your story. Everybody talked about telling their story. And you have an online presence that reinforces your brand awareness and can generate, you know, organic marketing opportunities that you mightn't have thought about before. Again, it's to promotion of buy local, keep local retail alive and topical, and make people think different about their community. So what we'd like you, the retailers, to do is to engage with our Facebook page. And if I could just ask you, even this evening when you come home, if you could just like the Cmon Tipp Buy Local page. And if you have a Twitter account, you can also follow us on Twitter. And if you can share and like and comment and do all those things, it would be just wonderful. The other thing then we ask are for retailers, again, to display the stickers on their shop front. And if you have any stories, again, to showcase your business that will help us to help you to, you know, engage with your customers, we're more than happy to do that as well. And remember, social media is a chance to tell your story and solve your customer's problem. It's not always about the hard sell. So what we're asking people to do, as I said, is to engage with the Facebook page, be part of the conversation, get on board with us, let people know that you're out there and you're up for business as well. Just something interesting I came across. It says that it takes people 7 times to see your brand or product before they eventually buy. So I'm just wondering if you have the stickers up. I don't know if you need 7 stickers or you'll have to get people to go up and down 7 times past the shop. But people don't always buy the first time. But if they're aware that you're there and they want to engage with the programme, they're more than happy to buy local. The other thing we're doing is on all your seats as well, as I mentioned, there's a car sticker. So we're asking people to put the car stickers up in their cars. And again, it's just advertising the Buy Local campaign. So the message we're trying to get out to the consumers and to the retailers is that small businesses are, they're not just for Christmas, you're obviously for life, and we want people to think about buying local all year round. And I know because of the snow and in the media, there was such good stories about people having to actually get up and walk to the local shop and buy stuff because they couldn't drive to the big retailers. And I think that was an opportunity for the retailer to shine, and I think in a lot of cases, they did. They were there for the communities, they helped them out, and anything that was needed, they helped them out when the big retailers were closed. So again, as I say, if you have any questions about the campaign itself, we're more than happy to answer them. And just if you could take away just a few things from today, it would be put your stickers up in the window. If you don't have them, we can get them for you or get them out to you. Now, we have the car stickers as well, so we're asking you to put them up and engage with the campaign. And if you could just like the page when you get home or later on and start maybe sharing. And I am trying to follow as many businesses as I can online as well and sharing your story just as I come up upon your stories.